Hi, I'm Rob Moore,
And I am Mr. Muhammad.
and we're Full Blast STEAM. So the question was posed to us, why do we think Baltimore City is a charm city? And I'll go first. I really believe Baltimore is a charm city because of its rich history, not only from the historical figures that lived in Baltimore and worked in Baltimore, but also the historical architecture and the historical events that has happened in Baltimore in its neighborhoods and in its communities. The second question was, what would I go back and tell my younger self, my 14-year-old self? The first thing I would do is I would look him right in the eye and I would tell him to not worry about the naysayers or never second guess yourself. For so long as we grow up, um, for many years as we grow up, we're always told that we can't do something or you're not cut out for that or you might need to think that through or do your research. All those things kind of weigh on you and they kind of give you this negative self-talk. And one thing that I would go back and tell my 14-year-old self is, don't listen to the naysayers, don't listen to that negative self-talk that you're giving yourself, and just go for it.
Cool.
So why do you think Baltimore is a charm city?
Uh, like you said, the rich history of Baltimore and the people in multiple neighborhoods, the different types of neighborhoods, and that there are so many people that want Baltimore to do better and to evolve into a better place. Um, I think that's part of the appeal of Baltimore for me, is that I know that every neighborhood I go in, that there are people there are organizations, and there are people that are invested in that neighborhood that want that neighborhood to do better. So that's one thing
Charm City.
about Charm City.
So what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
Um, I would tell my 14-year-old self to always work on being better. You know, never stop looking to do better. You know that everything that you learn about the world, can help you in some kind of way or to add tools to your tool belt as you progress through life. Everything that you learn about the world is something else that you know now in a conversation, something else that you can guide one of your friends with, something that you can guide some of your family with. So just learning. The more you learn, the more you'll be able to apply what you learn to life because the people around you need you. That's one thing. Your community needs you. The people around you need you. Your community needs you, and they need your best you. They need you to be your best self. And you'll see that as you get older and older, that folks around you need you to step up and help. Um, yeah, and another thing is to be humble. To be humble and to listen and to pay attention. That you have two ears and one mouth. So you should use your mouth less than you use your ears. Pay attention, listen. Um, uh, the mistakes that you make in your life can stick with you for a long time, you know, and that they don't necessarily define you. Your mistakes don't define you as long as you're learning from them. If you're learning from your mistakes and you're rethinking your actions and you're promising yourself to do better and you're actively working towards being better and doing better, then your mistakes don't define you. They've contributed to your growth. But if you make mistakes and you lay in your mistakes and you just stay there and you just lay in your mistakes and keep doing those same things over and over again, then they will define you. Your mistakes will define you for the rest of your life, and you'll put yourself in a hole. Yeah. So the last thing about that hole is paying attention. That's another thing. Paying attention. If you see somebody fall in a hole, right, then you shouldn't fall in that same hole, right? That's part of. I think the scientist Neil deGrasse said that. He said that actually it was a quote from the other scientist, the one in the wheelchair. What's his name? Stephen Hawking.
Hawkins.
Stephen Hawking. So Stephen Hawking said intelligence is the ability to adapt to new situations. Paraphrasing it, but that's that's a mark of being intelligent. You know, is that you see something happen and you can adapt so that you don't suffer what someone else suffered. You know, you can learn from other people's mistakes. So I think that that's the height of wisdom, to learn from other people's mistakes. And if I could go back and tell my 14-year-old self, pay attention to what's happening around you, and don't make the same mistakes, you know, then I would be better off. And folks that I grew up with and folks that I lived with through the course of my life would be better off if they would have learned from other people's mistakes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Once again, my name is Rob Moore, and
I'm Mr. Muhammad.
And we're Full Blast STEAM.
Full Blast STEAM.
See ya.
Peace.